And great start. Harand, Connor, Queco, hello. Yeah, blue shirt today. This means I'm out of white and pink shirts. Oh, he's quick. He's quick in there. Matthias, hello. Indeed, I've had to move my code window to make room for the hardware. It does have. It's oddly reflective though. I think I can see the camera in it. So, hello, everyone. ZZZ, Onyx, Chris, Julian, Painful. Hello. Yeah, it's very surreal, right? Like, it's something not many people have, which is kind of cool, but it's still very surreal. Need to get that sweet gold one next. So hurry up and tell all your friends to subscribe. Yeah, it's cool. It's surreal. This seems very strange. Can't let up now. The work's just beginning. The work starts at 100,000. Apparently, I'm live. Who knew? Okay. Last stream, housekeeping. I don't really know how to pronounce your name, but you'll hear a lot. So I'm going to go with Vajoexi, which sounds wrong, but correct me if that's incorrect. But otherwise, I will. Otherwise, you'll just be Vajo, which is maybe not what you want. Vajo. Does my windowing logic work on other OSs? Which windowing logic? As in within the game? No, it's Windows only, but it will work through Wine. Okay, cool. So I think Twitch does give you some hardware, but you have to hit like 5 million watched hours or something. I think they give you a little statue. But who knows? There's something I won't pull up my dashboard obviously, but if you Twitch has achievements, which is basically how you track like how many hours you streamed, how many people have watched, blah blah blah. It's also the mechanism they track for how far you are to associate and then partner, whatever it is, the one that I am, and then partner. And at the bottom it does have like purple trophy or something, but it's something ridiculous. I'm not going to bring it up, but I'm going to look off stream. So under achievements, under analytics, the purple, you get an award on completion called the Bleed Purple, and they do a purple, a marble, and a chrome for 5 million, 50 million, and 250 million hours watched on your channel. That is an award you can get. I'm at 8,200 hours, which is actually surprising. It's quite a lot, but yeah, I am. The progress bar shows no color. I don't know if anyone's seen one. I don't know if they exist. I don't know if anyone's claimed it, but like 5 million watch hours is an awful lot. Great question. Have I decided on OBJ or GLTF? Neither. I've gone for FPX, the worst of all the choices. I mean, Twitch is a hard one, right? Because it's, my understanding of the device is it's almost impossible to grow an audience on Twitch, because that Twitch platform is not built for discoverability. It's not built to surface new and interesting people. You basically pick a topic, and I suspect 9 times out of 10 you'll pick one of the top 3 streamers in that. So you have to kind of build a platform elsewhere, then try and shift it over to Twitch. or you cheat and you pay for views to boost you to the top, which I don't personally agree with. Monday. Glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying it. Right. So we're going to do some model loading today because that's. Let me unshrink myself and then begin the code. Sorry, button's gone now. So last stream we did some housekeeping. A grand time was had by all. Today I want to do some model loading. So we're going to go Assimp because it is the least worst solution, as in it worked for the last program. So the last project, I can copy a lot of the code. We made a lot of good shorts. The shorts machine was churning hard. So I've solved my issue from last project, okay? My issue from last project was I have purchased some assets, right? I purchased a barrel asset last time and a really sweet factory. This time I've purchased some modular assets for a level. Now, the issue with that is the license for that basically says that I'm allowed to distribute that as part of a game, as in embedded in whatever form I want, but I'm not allowed to redistribute the files kind of as is, which is a little bit of a pain when the project is open source, because how does one program and then push it up and then but also back up the resources, because like the things I want to achieve are I want to keep the resources backed up so I can always put it down and it works for me. I don't want any of you lot to have access to them, but I also want the CI to work, right? So I should still be able to produce a build with it. So I think I've solved all those problems in secret assets. So we now have a secret assets. I will show you the inside of the secret assets. It is the same structure. That should be an underscore. Oh well, never mind. It's the same structure as assets, but secret. So the thing with secret assets is that this is my least favorite feature of Git, and it is a Git submodule. I'm not a massive fan of them. I've never had a good time with them, but maybe this will change my mind. So secret assets is a private repo on my GitHub, which none of you lot can see, but it does mean that I can check it out. Okay, so inside secret assets models, there's look at all these models. We've got so many models, all these models, and they're all secret. But the advantage of this is that something personal access token GitHub magic, the CI system is allowed to clone the private repo, but you guys are not. So when you check out the code, if you try and initialize submodules, I suspect it won't work, but you shouldn't need that anyway. But it also means that I can do things like I can keep the shaders, right, in the public repo. Those assets are fine. But anything I don't want to distribute, I can just check into the secret assets and it all works. So I'm pretty sure this is all tickety-boo, because if we go to the embed resource loader, I have here already pulled in the first model, some corner piece, right, of this level, right? I think, can you do that? Would that work? I'm just trying to think if that's an issue. I'm not sure if you can, because that would be off. That would totally undermine all of GitHub secrets, right? Because GitHub has a secrets thing, and the pat token that allows you to clone that repo, and that pat token can only clone that repo, is a secret. So I'm pretty sure you can't dump it. At the end of the day, I feel like I've done my due diligence to stop this. I don't think I'm going to be I've done my best to try and tick all the boxes. There's only so much I can do. This asset pack was not expensive. If you're that desperate, I would suggest you just go buy it. Also, they are just embedded as is in the executable, so it is not a lot of work if you're willing to go and pull it out of the binary. So anyway, we'll see what happens. If I get sued by CG Trader, then I'll sell my silver play button and just fold this whole shindig up. Okay, so this already works, right? And I've already checked this works through the CI, so I'm pretty sure this is all fine. So I'm only going to worry about this is just the one asset we're going to try and load. At some point, I'll probably code gen all the all the embeds because there's quite a lot of things. And then I've kind of just redone this right, so we can do models, shaders, textures. The only thing that's broken at the moment is the file resource loader, because you can only construct it with a single root. This should really have a vector of roots, and then it will try it, so you can point it to assets and secret assets, and it tries to iterate through them all. But for now, we're not using this. It's not worth my effort to go and fix. So we're going to try and load and render this, and I've checked in my second least favorite tool of the world, Blender, and it has the albedo, normal, and specular map embedded in the FBX. So we're going to have to convince Assimp to release that for us. So yeah. I think this is fine. We're going to do what we're going to do. Right. So the first thing to do is we need to pull in Assimp. So Assimp is an open source model loading library. It is what it is. I'm going to take the code I had from the last project, and I'm just going to slap this in here. So basically, I want to turn everything off by default. Do I not need to just enable? I want all importers off, right? And then how do I? Did we not have this before? Somewhere there is like you can set build Assimp with only FBX importer. Because I don't really want to build all of it shite unless I need it. I can't remember. Did we use obj files? Do we have issues with this? I really can't remember. So we want Assimp. So Assimp, oh, I've got no export on, so we want that. Then build tests off, all that sort of stuff. And then we want build FBX importer. And build all importers off. I've got some sort of line ending misery here. Let's just go in. Don't know where all that came from. I think they're also on a new version now. I think they've bumped their major version. So we're going to go for the latest and greatest. I think I was looking this up earlier. What is it? I think it's Assimp. What tags have they got? Let's have a look at their releases. They've got 6.0.4, the bug fix release. That sounds what we want. I don't want any bugs in it. That sounds terrible. Okay. It is WSL. We're going to try FBX, and then if it doesn't work, I will cry. Fetch content, make available. Fetch content. How did I change some of this before? I think it's just. Fetch content, because I did change how some of this works. Bear with me a second. Available. And then how does one link this in game? CMake source Assimp. I think I just link it in. CMake source into the link libraries. I think I just slap in Assimp. Let's do make config and see if we bring this down. Let's see if it builds. Hello. is it? I mean, it depends on your industry, right? Like, there's no you operating systems are tools. I understand that some people kind of make it a core part of their personality. I do not, but that's just me. It's just a tool, right? I use Linux pretty much exclusively at work. I use Windows at home with WSL for dev. It's really is what it is. All right. Oh, look at those translation units. Assimp is a heavy boy. It depends on your. For us, it's not mandatory, but I'd say pretty much all C++ devs at my shop use Linux as their main driver, and then some of the C# guys use Windows, some of them use Linux. That's more down to personal preference. I'd say most people are probably on Linux. I think CMake is neither overrated nor overhated. I think it just exists, and it is, right. I think there'll be people. What I'm trying to say is, I think the amount of people who overrate it are also probably roughly equal to the amount of people who overhate it. In my experience, it is. I think it's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could just like make tests just to convince ourselves we're still testing. Cool. Okay. So that should be now. Oh, I forgot about the WebM UID. That was a fun one. Like, I went on a bit of an AI ramble last time, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. There are shorts coming out about that. I think it's good. I think it's a tool, right? If it helps you write code faster and you have the ability to kind of verify it, then sure. Like, the ability to write out code used to be the bottleneck, but that is quickly becoming no longer the bottleneck, and I think that's kind of an interesting transition. Okay, so what one Assimp help? I'm not gonna clip that. Also, one of the things I had with Assimp last time is, I'm just looking at my code from the previous project, is I don't think I handled error logging particularly well. So I want to have a custom logger. So I've looked up some code on how to do that. So I think I want to integrate Assimp into my logging code. But I think we need to. I always like to start with interfaces. Let's write some interfaces, and then it's just painting my numbers after you got the interface. So let's go. So how do we load textures? Because I feel this should be a similar thing. So we've got load texture. So where does this live? This is in graphics utils. Okay, API design is the hard part. Okay. So let's start there. So graphics utils. Load texture. I think I'm going to put it in here. I suspect this sort of nebulous graphics utils.h file is going to get a little bit unwieldy, and we might want to split it out. But I think for now, like, we're going to want something like auto load model, right? So it is consistent. I suspect that'll take a data buffer view model data. That will be the FBX file, right? That'll be the pure thing that we've embedded in the binary. It doesn't have to be embedded, however we loaded it. And then this is going to return like a thing. What I suspect it'll be is a model data. Okay. So we have a mesh data, right? So mesh is the raw vertices and indices. I'm going to posit, if you will, that we have a model data, which is effectively an extension of mesh. It includes the mesh data, but also has the associated textures with it, and that's the thing that we produce. And then from that we can stick it into the various mesh managers and texture managers and create an entity from it. But I think like the thing that we produce from the FBX file should kind of be this all-encompassing struct, and then what we do with it is really kind of up to us. We'll sort of like poke a bit of it here, poke a bit of it here, wire it all up. Bob's your uncle. So let's do eSource graphics model data.h. Yes, so I plan the shader challenge that we did, the community challenge. I'm planning on doing that Sunday, which is as close as possible to the last stream of the month. I've just had quite a lot on and I've not had a chance to kind of look into it. So I'm hoping to get some time over the weekend to go over the submissions, kind of plan what I'm going to say, and then we'll take maybe the second half or the second part of Sunday's stream and maybe go over those. That's kind of my plan. And then I will instruct AC to hand out the various Discord boons that has unlocked. It's not that I've forgotten, it's just that I just was super swamped with the de novo video, and then almost immediately start work on the next video, that was poor planning. But I'm away for a few weeks in February, so I really want to get a video out before then, so I'm kind of, as always, chronically short on both time and hair. But I've not forgotten. Graphics, model data, hash include. Have I got circular include? I do. Mesh data, hash include, graphics. So I'm gonna maybe speculatively scope this out. So let's do struct model data. So this will have mesh data, right? That is a thing that we need. No. I'm planning on doing it this Sunday, which I guess is technically out of January, because I think isn't Sunday the 1st of Feb, but we'll do it. I'm going to try and build and run them, but failing that, I'll just sort of pull up the code and we'll have a chat through it and show some of the images and screenshots and stuff like that. Okay, and then I think what I want is stood optional texture albedo normal specular. Don't know why I had an extra on there. I think those are our three main textures, aren't they? Depends, because I normally have to get up early and schlep it into London on a Monday, so we'll see how late I go. I mean, how would you start by making an anti-cheat for a game? That is a pretty big question, because it really depends on what your threat model is and who your who your adversaries are. If it's anyone who's sort of been doing it for a while, then I think you're going to struggle. If you're just doing it for educational purposes, then like basically just go through the history of it, right? Start with the keygen, and then start with trying to, verify maybe certain parts of the disk, or do some driver stuff. Then you can move on to like VMs and sort of hardware IDs and stuff like that. Indeed. Vajo, thank you. You're back. Right. So I'm going to posit that a model might not have all these textures, and it is up to the consumer of the model to decide whether that's an error or not. So because I'm not really sure, basically, what am I trying to say? Not all model formats embed textures into them. It's just how it happens that FBX does. So if in the future we use something that doesn't embed them, we will have to supply them afterwards. So I don't want that to be considered an error at the point of loading the model. So basically, you always will get mesh data, right? And then you may get these textures. And if you don't, like, it's up to the consumer of that code whether that's an error or not, whether you go and source them from somewhere else. Are we using VS Code to debug? It seems like it's probably the easiest one for me to use. So that's fine. Also, like, if you don't have a specular map, we might just default to a black texture and like everything is just matte. We have choices. So that's all tickety boo. Let's do utils. So now we can do not that utils, that utils. Oh, that utils CPP is going to have STB and Assimp in it. That's going to be a heavy translation unit. It's going to be a heavy object file. Graphics, model data, and now this should just work. I say work. It'll be a linker error, but it should exist. Yeah, that's true. And we might have like proxy models for physics collisions and stuff like that. So I think like load model will be, here is the mesh data and my best attempt at getting you some graphics data. But I kind of want those all to be in one, because we're going to have to pass through it all in Assimp anyway. I kind of want those to be returned in one struct. I think that's a fair design. You are of course free to disagree, and I'm free to ignore you. Not that I would. I value everyone's opinion. Okay, so let's do hash include graphics model data, and then hash include Assimp. Yeah, what the hell am I including here? I'm gonna need the scene. I'm going to need the logger. And I think I'm going to need the log stream. Nice. Nailed it. I like how some are H and some are HPP. That's fun. I don't know, because I feel like model data, something else could enrich it, and because those are optional and stuff the texture in later. So I think model data is kind of enough to encapsulate the fact that it's the mesh data and maybe some textures, and something else could enrich those data and then pass it on down the pipeline. Okay, so how does one? I think I need class UFPS or UFPS Assimp log stream. I hate that. Do I hate that more? Yeah, none of those are great. Can't go wrong with simple. So I was reminding myself of the log code. So I did have a quick look up before we started on how to do custom logging, and basically you have to implement this. Thank you. I will remember in a minute. And then you can do, and then you do public auto write const char star message. Love it. Void. Hang on, where do I put the override when I'm using trading return types? So the issue with this now is that because of my weird and wonderful logging code, I have log info, log error, log debug, and log warn, and I need to be able to encapsulate those with this write. Like, it's just saying write. Which one do I do? So we'll come back to this, because I think I've an idea is a brewing. So let's go here. Let's start writing some code. So we're going to do. I don't know if I want to make this static or. So we're going to go for. Oh, interesting. Why do I not have that? According to the docs, there should be a default logger factory method. Well, I'm already scuppered. I've already fallen at the first hurdle. Logger. Did we have this problem last time when I tried to do this? Where's... let me just Google this then. Assimp default logger. It seems to think it exists as of 2014, so pretty recent. Pretty recently. Okay, hash include assimp default logger. There you go. So I think this is a factory method that just instantiates some global misery. And then we do auto. I think I might need to make this static or something that produces it once. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not like that good at assembly. I know enough to kind of get by. Assimp default logger. Gotta get it. Assimp. Okay, I think this definitely needs to be some sort of factory method. Let's do static auto logger equals there you go. Just immediately invoked lambda there, but static. So this should only be constructed on the first run through. In fact, actually, probably could be there could probably be a function, an anonymous namespace at the top. But I've done it now. Okay. So then what we want to do is so you can do logger attach stream, okay, and then something like new simple assimp log stream assimp logger So apparently Assimp takes ownership at this point and doesn't leak it. Sure. So the idea here is that we can then register different instantiations of this class, right, for warn, info, and debug, right, which happens to be all the levels that we have, right? Spent half an hour and I've not even written the bloody logger yet. So we need a way. There's kind of so we could log level, right? Is that not exposed? Ooh, it's in log. That's why. Yep, okay. So we could do this, right? And then we could basically switch level. If we stored this as a private member, right? So you could say this simple log is this. It doesn't feel like enough templates to me, and I don't know about you, but I feel like it could be better. I feel like Yeah, but what I'm thinking is, right, is I really don't think it's that bad at all, right? So I think what we can then do is we can then just do if const expr L equals no, not stood, that'd be nice. UFPS log level no, actually it's even simpler than this, because if we look at my if we look at my miserable logging code, all these are just aliases for the log print functions. I think I can do, hang on, I'm thinking hard here. I think I can do UFPS log print L I think I can do that. And then I can just instantiate it with the various different log levels, and it'll automatically map through to the correct one. So then this becomes UFPS log level debugging. Yeah, I think so. Warn. I like how some of these are like ing like verbs, and some of them are not. Infoing? No, just info. I think that's what I need. And then, right, so now, include Assimp importer, classic. Why are some of these uppercase? Why are some of them lowercase? Why are some of them H? Why are some of them HPP? It's just, anyway. Auto loader equals Assimp importer Assimp importer. Why do I use this? Do I even need to use this logger? Also, apparently, I need to call some cleanup function at the end now that I've got this, just looking at the docs or looking at the code snippet I found. So that means I'm going to have to RAI it. Oh, what a pain. Okay, that's all going to be, we have to tidy that up later. I think because it's the default logger, right? I don't think I need this, but I can't. Okay, I hate a lot of this, and I will rewrite all that in a second. Let's just see if we can get something working first. I've sort of made my bed. Okay, so now I need to do importer dot read file from memory. So this will be model data dot data, model data dot size, and then some flags. I think it's these. I just need these rando flags. So, oh, what header is that in? That is definitely it. Yeah. Include Assimp post process. Yeah, nailed it. Absolutely crushed it, mate. It's about as close to data.data as I think you're going to get. I don't know if I can just like return just nothing at the moment. I can. Don't use that. Okay, so this ensures so Assimp can do some post processing for you. Okay, which is quite nice. It can make sure that you only have triangles, which is the only thing we can render. So if I happen to get a model which is quads, it will sure triangulate it. It will flip the UVs, which is useful for OpenGL, and then it will basically say, because we need the tangents and the bitangents, it will calculate them if they're not present, which is nice. I know, right? Ran out of white shirts. Well, actually, to be fair, I'd probably mix and match between white and pink. It's just I think it's hard to tell in this lighting. Okay, right. I'm kind of just tempted to see if this works and see if we get some logging. So let's do UFPS load model, resource loader, load data buffer, and whatever this hot mess is, some corner. So I'm hoping that will, one, A, compile, and B, log something for us. Pink's a great colour. One of the best. I just assumed normals will be there because, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do need to add the generate normals thing. I've never had to add that before, and it's always been fine. We'll see. Maybe I'm not as smart as I thought. Well, I know I'm not as smart as I thought I was going to be. Oh, Logger says no pretty hard. It's because it's to do with this misery of the source location, which is always an issue. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can't puzzle this out. I'm reasonably convinced this will work. I don't think it's a const issue. So I've got the deduction guide there, which basically says if I construct something with some number of args and a level, then that should actually deduce that to the second template argument. I mean, it's a very edit pack, so the second and onwards. Because this is all you're doing when we call any of the debug, whenever we call any of the log functions, we're just using these aliases with these pre-filled in. So I can't understand why that's not matching. What's the actual error? No known conversion from const child star to source location. So that then becomes when it tries to. Oh, hang on. It's because my logger has to be a struct, obviously, because it's the only way I could then do the default source location and still have all the template parameters. It was a bit of a mess writing this. I feel like it's incorrectly deducing these template arguments. Well, no, I don't feel like it. I know it is. Is it not doing that deduction guideline then? Can I just do message like that? Yeah, I need a format string. So can I just, let's do something like that. Let's just check it's not indirect. It's not incorrectly deducing that, because the problem with strings is they get weirdly deduced all sorts of random stuff. I guess it's a fix my terrible logging code stream. Yeah, why is it deducing that? Because it should be using this deduction guide. Because all I'm doing feel like the issue is that this should, well, that's not going to work, is it? Taking the first as the source of and the second as the format string. Well, it should always be whatever this should always come after everything else, right? Because it's the last argument. The issue is that this variadic template, this args is for some reason deducing, the last argument is deducing to source location, right? And then it's basically saying, oh, I expect you to give me source location at the end, and then you've given it a message. I suspect the something like that. This is not great. I just want to see if I can get it working, and then we can kind of clean it up in a minute. That's even worse. I'm honestly shocked. Like, there's a much easier way of doing this, right? But I'm kind of curious why this doesn't work. Like, I'm clearly misunderstanding. So this should. So this will call the so what? Let's walk through this, right? This is going to call the constructor. Okay. The constructor takes a format string message, which should map to that, and then some number of arguments, and then another one on the end. And I think the issue is that the size of args here is 1 and is deducing to source location, which means then there's a mismatch here. Yeah, so we think it could be stood format string const char star. I don't think that will, but the inner template cannot affect the outer template deduction, right? Doesn't matter whether I specify this or not. I'm just super confused why, because presumably if I do UFPSV log error, message, right? That'll work. So why does it like it if I use... So what's fundamentally, what is the difference between calling this, okay, and calling this directly? I think this alias That's it. This alias doesn't know about the source location template at the end. So this correctly deduces all the args. So what I think I might need is level L class args using log helper equals to be honest, this sounds like it could be useful elsewhere. Print L args oh, is it still not gonna like it? Thanks. Hope it was useful to you. Have I missed something? Oh yeah, good one. L. Still not liking it. Surprised that compiled. I really don't want to spend ages on this. I'm really surprised. I'm fundamentally missing something here. Why is that? What am I missing? I'm going to wrap this up and do it the easy way in a second, because we're not. I haven't even written the logging yet for Assimp. Like, but I'm just. It's really. It's one of the things like classic C++. This really annoys me because I can't work out why it's complaining. No matching function called 3 candidates. Yeah, it's still trying to convert this to the source code location, but I don't understand why. Because at this point, this should deduce args to be 2, right? Can I just do something like so that's just the unused parameter, so that's fine. So it likes that. So this should fail because it should compile time say you've not given me enough arguments, which is fine. Is a constant expression. So that's the error I wanted. So can I just do const expr auto message equals std format message, and then just do message no, because that's not going to match the okay, fine, whatever. It's annoying me, but I don't think there's much more I can do about it. I'm just going to do if const expr L equals UFPS log level info UFPS log info message. I might come back to that. That might be a post-stream musing, because I feel like that is very close to working. I didn't change debugging to debug. That is an Assimp's problem, that. One. And finally, debug. Else. Unknown level. I'm going to consider that an error, that I've not properly handled that. Okay, what a waste of time. Apologies, I hate everything. Okay, so let's look back at how we're going to then... let's just see if this like blends now. This won't work and I'll be full of regret and pain. That's really frustrated me, that. I have to think a bit hard. It's kind of... The best time to try and debug miserable template code is late evening live. That is objectively the best way of doing it. Okay, so let's look at the log. Okay. So it didn't load it. It's trying to load $, $, well, underscore, magic. Curious. I mean, at least this works with the logger, right? So I guess there's that. But what the... Okay. I guess. Okay. Let's... Let's just... I wonder if this is why I had this before. Let's just build all importers and see what happens. I try and stream twice a week, so Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 o'clock UK time. Fully jumped into C++ features, or is there some left? I'm afraid I don't really understand the question. Apologies. Okay. Okay. We're getting there, gang. Oh, I don't know the way it doesn't remember that this was the last one selected. It thinks it's a GLTF2 asset. Oh, is it? It's interesting it says file extension unknown, because like... Read file from memory. We won't have a file name, will it? Have I correctly... What's P... what's P hint? An additional hint to the library. If this is a non-empty string, the library looks for a loader to support the file extension. Okay, it tries to determine... Okay, well, at least the docs are honest, right? If this loader is unable to complete the request, the library continues and tries to determine the file format on its own, a task that may or may not be successful. So do I just do something like FBX? Question mark? Well, not like that, obviously. Problem is though, like, a string is kind of meaningless. Yeah, dot FBX? Okay, nice. FPX DOM unsupported. Newer format versions supported are only FPX 2011, 2012, and 2013. Trying to read it nevertheless. It's actually quite insightful, this. Bug memory leak is fixed now, though. Great. That I think is fine. What we could... Yeah, I think we're just going to crack on. Okay, so what I want to do is... I think this gives me the scene, right? It does give me a scene. So we're going to assert... no, we're not. We're going to... Got error? Okay, fine. We're going to ensure that scene does not equal null pointer. Failed to pass scene. Assimp scene. Seems like a fairly sane thing to check. Oh, and then I suppose we can be... Oh no, I don't actually have the... Don't pass it a file name, do I? That's a little bit annoying. I think what we can now do is actually go back to this and hopefully revert this change. Get that building in the background. All right, okay. So then const auto loaded meshes equals careful, std span of AI mesh. Importantly, not in the Assimp namespace, obviously. Does that exist in the Assimp namespace as well? Nope. Obviously not. Libraries all over the place. Fun. So scene meshes, access to the private member variables. They're all public. There are no private member variables. They're all public, but they're named as if they are private. And then let's do scene m meshes plus scene m num meshes. Okay. Yeah, I think we had to use the command line utility last time to verify some stuff. So log info found meshes loaded the size load meshes. Why not? Why not use the free function? Dot sizes for other people. Okay, then we can do const. No, we cannot. We can do for const auto mesh in the loaded meshes. Right now that we've got effectively a range. I think that is a range. They love me a good range. And then I think we can do log. No, we can't. We can do log info found mesh. And I think we can do mesh mname Thestra with an uppercase C. Right, let's see if that blends. See what we get from that. Techno Fabricant, glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Right, so let's try this. So let's do... Where are my infos? So... Oh, it's not got submeshes, has it? Oh, it's got 11 meshes. What an absolute pain. I had not even considered that. I guess flatten them. This is the whole stream. This is the stream, and probably some of the next stream as well. I hate to do it. Yeah, it's Blender in time. My least favorite tool. I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll just buy a Maya license again, and it's 300 quid for the indie license. And I was just like, you know what? For the couple of streams I'm going to need it, it does not sound like good value for money. Give me a second while I find out. I sort my life out. Projects. What are we today? UFS. Assets. Models. Which one are we doing? It was the SM corner 01 88X. Sure. Well, I've crashed Blender. Oh, it's tiny. Why is it so small? Cute. How does one... Is it S? So this is the X 8x section from the modular spaceship. It's going to be set in space, by the way. Spoiler alert. The modular spaceship. It wasn't that pink in the renders of when I pushed it. Oh, I love all the Z fighting as well. Oh man, what have I spent money on? That's even worse. Okay, what's all my... Oh no, look at all this misery. Look at all this. Got metal plate 01 through 03. Details 03. Pipes 01. But does that all share the same UV map though? Oh, whoa. That's got to all share the same UV map, right? Question mark? I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter because the UVs are baked per vertex. But do they all map to the same texture? How does one texture painting? No. Shading. Right, I've got... Oh no, each of these have separate textures baked in. Oh, what an absolute nightmare. I can see, you probably can't see here, but I can see the texture name changing. So like light has a different... But they do have like roughness, base color, metallic, emissive, normal. So they've got all the bits I want because I just treat metallic, specular as metallic. I don't really care for roughness. And the base color. New plan. New plan. Why is it pink? I mean, I'm a big fan of the color, but that is definitely not what I... Is there some Blender option that I don't understand? Is there like a make less pink, more realistic? Is it the light color? Pink means the texture isn't loaded. Great. What's all this? Is this, oh my god, is this just all geometry then? Oh, it's so complex. Okay, fine. So it's, but it has, the texture name. Okay, I'm not making any progress here. What am I going to do? New plan. New plan. New plan. All right. Sure, but like I thought FBX could just embed the texture data. Like, so in the file that I've downloaded from the internet, okay, there are no textures. It's just FBX files. So there's none. There's none in there. It's all FBX files. Right. Let's continue with the relentless march of progress. Test load. I think there's a bunch of boilerplate we need to write regardless, okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're still gonna have to pass everything out. Yeah, but I mean, I only have FBX files, right? So it means I'm just gonna have to convert them all, which means I still don't have the textures. So I think let's go make progress. Let's load something, see if we can get it rendering, and then we'll figure out the misery as we go along. Okay, fine. So for this, I need a, I remember doing this last time as well. Auto to native const AI vector 3 v to a UFPS vector 3. Sorry, 3D, and then return v.x, v.y, v.z. Cstro has capitalized first letters in there in Assimp's code. Remember, a lot of this is Assimp's code and not mine. I think we're gonna pull out all the mesh data anyway. Let's just see where we get to, right? So let's do const auto positions equals std span of AI vector 3D, and that would be mesh m vertices, mesh m vertices plus m plus mesh m num vertices. Right, let's get a span, because these are just pointers, right, to the vertex data within Assimp. So let's just get a span over those, and then we can pipe that to a range and do std views transform to vector to native, right? So that will then get us a view over all the over all the Assimp vertex data, but in our format. Okay. And then we can do the same for the normals. Oh, there is no num normals because it's the same as the number of vertices. I don't know if you should watch this game developer. I'm making this up as I go along. And then tangents. Tangents, and then bitangents. So tangents, and then bitangents, and then bitangents. So I think that's all fine. So then we need to put out the UVs and the indices, and I think that's the last thing we need. And the texture data as well. I've got to figure out how to get the texture data out of this as well. So let's do, why the plus? Where have I plussed somewhere I should not have? I always find it very worrying when someone's like, why this specific character? I'm like, oh, I've typed that loads of times. Like, what do you mean? Okay, so I think UVs is going to be a massive pain because is it going to be? No, it should be okay. Okay, fine. So let's do. Let's just try UVs. So this is going to be a span of AI vector 2D, and this is going to be. It's going to be M. It's really weird, this. M texture chord. Take the first set of texture chords. I think it's... Because I think each texture can have a different set of chords, but I don't even know if that even makes any sense. So... we'll see when it all goes horribly wrong. And then I think I need another... 2 native, right? F3R 3R2, and then that's going to be UFS UV, and then that's going to be XYZ. Okay, so that's going to be. Oh, what have I done? Why can it not? Why is adding a function overload cause transform to go funny? Why can it not match that? Oh, thank you. Very kind of you. What is texture cores when it's at home? It is a... Oh, okay. It is a vector 3D. That is annoying. I'll have to have a custom... Right, that's fine. We can just get rid of that. We can just do a custom one. Const auto v return uv dot s equals v dot x dot y equals v dot y. What have I done wrong? Where's this? What have I? Oh, hang on, it's here, isn't it? This is a span of 3Ds. That's why. There you go. It still doesn't like this. Where have I? Oh, have I missed? There. There you go. And I've called it Y instead of T. Yeah, okay. Oh, that was painful. Right, so now I have positions, normals, tangents, and bitangents. So I should be able to do... I need to get the indices as well. Indices is a pain. I think you have to loop through all the faces and then accumulate. And then... can I do this with a range? You have to loop through each face, right? And in each face, you have to pull out the indices for said face, right? So you're going to basically loop through each triangle and pull them out. I'm just trying to think if there's an easy way of doing this with a range. Let's try writing something. Indices equals it might be might want something like mesh. So let's do stood span AI face, right? Mesh M faces mesh M faces plus mesh M num faces, right? So that will give me a loop, that will give me a range over all the faces, and then I'm going to want to transform that. All right. To return I think I want then a span of stood uint32t, right? And construct that with e dot, bear with me, m n indices, e dot m indices plus e dot m num indices, right? So take each face, transform each face into a span of indices, and then the views join them all together. I think that'll do what I want it to do. I think that will flatten the faces into indices into one span, into one range. Sorry. How are we feeling? We're feeling confident. Will winding order be an issue? I don't think so, because they should be in the. From personal experience, so anecdotally, Assimp seems to work by default with the counterclockwise winding order, which OpenGL expects. As in, like, I've never had to alter the winding order. And this, when we've done this previously, we've just used a double loop through these, and push them all back. So I think it's all right. Okay, so now So now we can do auto meshes equals stud vector mesh data. And then I do have a loop, but like I think turning this into a range might be pushing it a little bit too much, even for me. Meshes dot push back dot vertices equals the give me 1 second. I've got a thing for this. Vertices. What's the order I want them in? Positions, normals. I think it's UVs. Position, normals, tangent, bitangents, UVs, and then dot indices equals indices. Oh, hang on, steady. What does it not like about that? Oh, and then oh, hang on. That's the ugh. Oh, I hate everything. Models. Model data, right? And then this now becomes we're going to need more. We have nearly not nearly enough brackets. So dot model data equals that. Right. Dot albedo equals that. Dot. Let's do stud not dot normal equals stud null dot specular equals stud null opt. What do you not like about that? Pretty sure pretty sure that's right. By the way, in case you're wondering, the reason why I've not moved these in like we have elsewhere is because these are just ranges. These aren't owning the data. So because this function here just takes another range and zips it together, there's no need to convert it to a vector just to copy the data in. It will effectively lazily evaluate those as they go along, in case you're wondering. I think the compiler, I'm just going to wait for the compiler to tell me what's wrong. Blah. I feel like I'm just almost if I just create an empty model data. Is it that? Interesting. Okay. Oh, it's because it's called mesh data. What an absolute pillock. So, okay, so now it doesn't like this. Why is it not like this? Come on, give me better. Give me better. Give me a better error. No matching mesh data, albedo, norma, specular. No known conversion from initializer. Surely it can. Oh, hang on. I know exactly why. So this, I do need to reify. More ranges, mate. That's better. Okay, so the issue was that this was a range, but it couldn't construct the vector from a range. So I've reified it into the actual vector and then moved it in, so it's still just as performant. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of all the meshes having the same name. Not gonna lie, could be better. Is there really no way of disambiguating those? Okay, fine. I guess we could just try rendering those and seeing what we get, and then just sticking our metallic texture into all these. I think that seems like a fair thing to do. Oh, okay. Right. Const auto models equals that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of this jazz. Camera's fine. So let's do for const auto model in models. Have I got to shove all these into the mesh manager? I do, don't I? Okay, fine. So let's do... Yeah, hang on. Let's do scene.entities equals models. Seems a shame not to views transform. Return UFPS entity. I need to just bring everything along with us. Dot name equals models stood views enumerate const auto model index return UFPS entity dot name equals the format model index dot mesh view equals mesh manager dot load model dot transform equals stick it at its oh man, if these are not all like world space offset, if these are not all offset where they need to be within their world space, that's gonna be within their model space, that's gonna be an absolute nightmare. 1.0 f. It is tiny, but we'll see. Dot material index equals material. I think I've just called it red, which is not a great name, but I think it's fine for now. Oh yeah, probably helps if I make that equal something. Oh, I got these the wrong way around. I always get those the wrong way around. Cannot const mesh data. Ah, that's fine. We can do that with dot mesh data. And then stud view ranges to stud vector. Right. How are we feeling, chaps? And chapettes? I mean, statistically speaking, chaps, but I don't discriminate. Are we polling? Check it blends first. I think we should poll. Let me set up the runes. So the question is, I'm going to say, is it just going to work? And by just going to work means it renders out that model. Okay, fine. Engage with your audience. Members only live stream. Why would fuck you, everyone? We're off. No, start a poll. Will it work? Yes. No. Start poll. And then on for the Twitch people, start prediction. Will it work? Yes, no. Start prediction. Okay. I really like the difference in positivity between the two platforms. All right, we've got 15 seconds left. Okay. So mpoll. So we have 100% yes, 100% confidence on Twitch and a mere 66% confidence on YouTube. But YouTube is nearly 4 times the size. So let's see what happens. Oh mate, that's a level. That's a level, mate. We're hot to trot. I am unbelievably shocked. Like, it's a decent scale, like just off the bat. Like it looks like I could. I mean, I'm a bit fast for it, but I could walk through that. Oh, hang on, can I now like? I can just massively scale it out. Whoa! Oh, of course they're all. Oh no, that was something I'm not. They're all different models. I'm gonna have to have some sort of grouping in the editor. Otherwise, I'm gonna be moving all this around. It's gonna be an absolute pain in the ass. Let's move that over there. Also, the clicking. Whoa. It's not clear to me which is like what part of what model. Bang! Look at that. That is a hefty bit of metal. We could do a scene graph. We could do a scene graph. Can I get the light? Look at this. Got all the models. Get the light out. Let's Hang on, no, I want to select the light. That's cool. That's cool. Right, I think we should commit this up, and then in the last sort of 20 minutes or so, let's see if there's textures in that FBX file and what we can pull out. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's 1,000 different ways of doing it. Whichever way I pick will probably be wrong. I guess the advantage of a scene graph is I can attach a gun to myself, or I can attach a gun to an enemy. Oh, poll results. Yes, thank you. Choose outcome. Yes. I'm pushing that a bit further down the line. Let's just see. So add model data struct. Bring in Assimp. Load models. Integrate changes. Right. Collisions a bit further down the line. I really want to. We need to be able to get before we do physics, we need to finish off all the mod loading, get all the textures and stuff, and then I want to build out the editor a bit so we can click and drag those modular levels. Then we can build out a level, do some sort of scene serialization to a file so that we can bring it back and basically have something that we can kind of fly through, which feels like a level, like get a skybox in there. I think it should kind of look semi-complete, and then we can go and add physics. Yeah, all right. Okay, so let's go back to good old util. So I had... How does one... So somewhere in... I'm just looking at some sample code. Okay, where... So let's go up to the scene. Okay. Loaded meshes, get the models. Somewhere in here we should be able to do... Okay, so let's do log found... There you go. Found n meshes and texture materials. I think they call it materials. So let's do const auto materials equals std span AI material. The annoying thing is the materials are loaded in at the scene level. Right? Then we can do std ranges, size, materials. No materials. No? Is that a pointer? Span of pointers? Span of pointers, of course. Let's just see what that returns. If it's 0, then we're absolutely fucked. God, move so fast. This is cool though. Like I really like seeing these little renders that really kind of bring it all together. I mean, that's a hot mess, but like it kind of brings it all together. Okay, log. Oh yeah, scroll wheel doesn't work. Obviously, that's the joy of making everything from scratch. Is that the scroll wheel does not work until I program it to. Where's my... Okay, found 11 meshes and 11 materials. Are we... are we to assume there is but one material per mesh? I'm going to do this for now. This is more just a protective measure. Mismatch mesh material count in model file. Yeah, so this might not always be true, but for now, I'm going to assume it is, because that makes the rest of the code simpler. What basically this means, if this invariant ever changes, then that will remind me that I'll go and fix the code that was relying on this. So that might not always be there. I just kind of protecting myself from the inevitable fact that it's all going to go wrong. Okay, fine. So that's indeed problem for future me. Okay, so let's do const auto material equals scene. Hang on. Const auto index mesh stood views enumerate scene m materials index. Okay, and let's do bound mesh text count material. Now this all has, the scene has what I would consider private members that are publicly accessible. I think this now just has getters. Oh, you have to do it per type. Oh, one absolute farce. So the issue is, I'm getting a little bit fed up of saying this, but the issue is that Assimp internally has different texture types. It has a diffuse, specular, normal, and height. And you have to basically know what those types are to pull them out. So if I say, so I have to do something like AI texture type, here you go. These are all the texture types that it has. It kind of really makes a distinction on these. So I guess I'm going to have to find the diffuse one. Diffuse text count. Yes, I just want to just print them out to start with. This might not be the code I end up with. I just want to, like, do I have like the three I care about? Specular. They might call this one something else. They might call that metallic. Diffuse, normal, AI, texture type. Oh. AI texture. I'm going to go for specular, but I got a feeling they are PBR and they're going to be using normals, something different. Sorry, a little bit gross. I just want to just see this print out. I pass. I've undecided whether I'm going to pre-process these into another file format or just get Assimp to load them in the game. Like, obviously, it would be you maybe don't want to ship Assimp, and like do all that pre-processing when the game loads, but at the same time, like pre-processing, it requires quite a lot of machinery. It's going to be a couple of streams probably just to do that. So I'm undecided. I was not expecting that. That is indeed not good. So these go incrementally up, so that's fine. What's the max? 27. Okay, so let's do const auto texture count equals stood ranges these are not the order I like my includes, just saying. Stood ranges. Oh, there's no accumulate, isn't it? Something like stupid like fold left. Hang on. So stood fold left. Give me a second. Stood views iota. Oh, hang on, my code's gone. Iota 0u 27u pipe to stood views transform. Sorry, don't need that. Auto I return material get texture count I might need a cast there. So get that as a view out, and then 0u, and then stood add. No, what is it? What's accumulate to use? Stood plus. Stood GT. Sorry, there's quite a lot of C++ there. Let me just see if I can figure out why it's not working. One is because I've not captured that. Basically, what I'm trying to do is for all the possible indices, I want to, rather than doing like get texture count of this, I just want to add up all the number of textures it thinks it has for all the given types, right? So this should, fold left is basically accumulate, right, with this initial value in this operator, right? So it should fold this range over this operator starting this. It should just add them all up. It's effectively stood accumulate. So I feel like I've got some syntax wrong here, because why is this saying undeclared mesh? Oh, hang on. Yeah. And then I guess this needs a static cast for what? These are just hash. No, they're not. They are. Oh, is it enum? AI texture type. To AI texture type. Okay, fine. Sorry, get there in the end. Right. Bargaining, nice. Definitely, I've been through the anger phase. I would expect there to be 4 or 5 textures. Four, 2, 6, 4, 4, 1. Yeah, but we can. Can we get the name of, like, if we can get the name of these, then I can look these up in Blender, right? Because if we which one are we looking at? Hang on. Right, okay. So if we go to the shading section of our program, then in here, for instance, metal plate has 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, which I think is what we saw here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's top and tail that. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has 4. So then the next one's gonna have 2. So we think the light. Okay, fine. So that has an emissive and a base color. Okay. What's this? Yeah, there's a couple, like, it's basically me and AC, and my wife does occasionally pop in to check how one's behaving. So 6. What's the details? So we got base color, roughness, metallic, emissive, and normal. Okay, fine. So what I So the question is, why was that not picked? What are they called if they're not called diffuse? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's clearly found all the textures, and they mapped what I think they do in Blender. I don't really want to, because yeah, but the point is I don't know which ones they are, because I thought I wanted diffuse. So I think what I need to do is, can I go back to, right, so what we got? None, diffuse, specular, ambient, emissive, height, normals, shininess, opacity, displacement, light matte, reflection. Base color. PBR materials. I bet it's base color. So I bet if we do C. Okay. And then we do material, get texture count, AI. Hang on, what am I doing? Texture type, base color. Yeah, okay, fine. So they apart from the last two, what the hell are the last two? Panels. And this is apparently it does have a base color. Why is it? And detailed glass. Those are, I remember now seeing this in the previous, don't know if we can see it. They only have a single texture count, and didn't they have, they were the, oh my goodness, it's either base color or diffuse depending on the material. I bet they're non-PBR materials. Yeah, so it's, yeah, I bet it's because they're transparent, which I don't support transparency, so I might just let's do here all this. I mean, I don't know. I write all this C++ now. I feel like I'd... Oh, no, I'm not married to it. Right, let's try this again. I really like to render at least the albedo. Oh my goodness, kill me. Right, okay, so and then we're going to do const auto base color count equals scene. Nope. Material, get texture count, AI, texture base color, and then if base color count does not equal 1, we're going to log warn unsupported base color count. Base color count. Okay. And then we're going to continue. Okay, let's just sack all that off. Okay, now at the point where we want to... How do I even get that texture out? What even format is that in? So let's do const. Why do I not use AI autocomplete? And that's kind of fun. It's just fun. Just writing some old school handcrafted artisanal code. Scene. Get embedded. No. Material. Hang on. Text. Material. Get texture. AI base color. 0. Too few arguments. What else do you want? What else do you want from me? Oh my goodness! Right, I need a. gonna throw some strings in there. Pass that in as a pointer, obviously. No, I will not be doing any Vulkan tutorials because I do not know Vulkan well enough. I'm afraid you'll have to find someone else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all about that engagement. Right, let's go for a little bit longer. I think we can go for a little bit longer. Got some good numbers. We're doing some good work. Let's puzzle this out. So, log info found base color texture str.cstra, obviously. Okay. Ah, I see. I took out the bins before. No, I brought the bins back in. No, took them out. I've got to take them out. Trying to make sure I don't leak where I am in the country by what day my bins go out. No, thank you for hanging around. Good luck. See you later. So, just to be absolutely clear, right? I've got some notes off screen that I researched before, and I actually did use an LLM as well to kind of refine some of it as well. So I do have some boilerplate code, but as we found, it's not perfect. There are some mistakes. I still want to type it all out to kind of figure it out. So I am not an infinite, I'm not the font of all knowledge for the Assimp API, right? Just to be clear. All the C++ stuff, like that, I'm pretty much pulling up my ass as I go along. No hash defines, no macros, no preprocessor. Okay, right. I'm planning on using some coroutines for this when we get to the multi-threading and the job scheduler, so hang around for that. Right. Okay. So this is funny. I think. So is this funny? Get texture. What does get texture return? Oh, you're not going to show me. Great, thanks. Condition. Never. It gets a return value. So the fun part about this is it doesn't return the texture. So it doesn't return the texture. No. This is another fascinating design choice, by the way. It merely pulls out a string through which you can then use to query the texture. Because then we go to the scene, and then we're like, hey, scene, get embedded texture with a string. Oh my goodness, do they not even support their own string type as part of the interface? Heinous. Absolutely heinous. That is absolutely outrageous. That is deeply upsetting. And then we need to ensure that so this is now a pointer. Like, I understand that the scene owns everything, so lots of things are just pointers back to the scene, but having to pull out a custom string type and then convert that to a const char star is entirely untenable. Not get PC texture. AI is the Assimp library. It is very stringy. Okay, right. So how does one now get the data out of this? Oh my goodness, it could. Yes, it is a C++ code base. It has namespaces, right? But it doesn't. It's not. It's in no way like modern C++. I've just read a bit further down, and I really regret doing so because Biakuaz, the embedded texture. I'm slowly losing my marbles with this. This right could be uncompressed ARGB 8888888 data, or it could just be a ping that's just been shoved in there. It could be either, mate. Oh no, you can tell, but I still have to handle both. I mean, Vector is as old as the hills. Like Vector was probably one of the when Stepanov created the STL. Not that it's called the STL now, but when he created the standard template library, his original implementation, it had Vector in it. It's probably one of the first things that was ever built. Well, yeah, the thing is, I'm going to have to handle both. It's just annoying, right? So assuming we have that, basically, if BC text height is 0, then log debug compressed format, else log debug uncompressed format. Right, let's just see which one of it is, because I'm basically just going to handle the case that I have, like right here, right now, unless they're all different. After they're all different, I'm really going to lose my marbles. Ooh. Could not get. What do you mean you couldn't get? That is 100% the path of the author that asset existed at. He had separate. So it is a PNG, so that is interesting. Yeah, I bet they're not in there. I need to have a look. What else? Hold on one moment, caller. While I head over, take on a jolly to CG Trader and see what it is, what I've purchased. I spent $17.40 on this. So I've got. I've been an absolute fool. I've been an absolute cretin of the highest order. There is a separate download for the PNGs, pings, whatever you want to call it. Right, so what's this one called? Metal Plate 02. Metal Plate 02 base color. beautiful. One of my absolute favorites. Metal plate 02 normal. Sure is a normal map. Maybe metal plate 02 was not the best one to start with, but it does have a metallic. I agree. It is weird. A lot of this is weird looking. Okay. I don't think we need to panic. What I think I can do is... Hold on one moment, caller. I think I've got it. Projects, yes. Hang on. Here, yes. Secret assets. Copy. Let's see. Users. What was that called when it was at home? I cannot believe I missed that. I'm so annoyed at myself. .4482 ping /star.ping into textures. No, we're not panicking yet. We're nearly there, right? What's a big commit? Bear with me. Add textures. All right, so I'm going to stick that in the Git hole. Right. I've now got to push them up to Git into the secret repo to then pull them down. It's pushing real hard. That's an awful lot of textures, but repos are free. Thanks, Microsoft, I guess. Are there actually any questions? I've been kind of ignoring chat a little bit, and I do apologize. I don't really know. I don't really know what the scariest thing in C++ is. I think there's a lot of things that can be used. Like reinterpret cast is kind of terrifying when you see it. Const cast, I'd say, is pretty kind of terrifying when you see it. I'd say scary normally to me means like when I look at it, what do I consider a code smell and stuff like that. Right. Now I get to put it all back down again. Yes, yeah, they get the... what do you mean? Oh, hang on, what's the rune for syncing? Yeah. What's the... I hate Git submodules. What's the rune for updating it? Like, how do I get submodule pull latest? Is it that? Okay. Oh, hang on. Git submodule. I don't think that. I think you can know the name of the repo if you can't find it anyway, so it's fine. Git submodule update init recursive. Git fetch submodules. I feel like that should. Do I need to be in? Ooh, hang on. Do I need to be in the directory for it? I want to pull that. I've just pushed up something to that repo, that submodule. I need to now pull down the latest main branch. Yeah, that's what I did, but I don't know why it didn't work. Okay, fine. Sure. Okay. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Secret assets, textures. Okay, fine. So they're now all in there. Okay. Yeah, I just... it's been a long day. Right. Okay, fine. So let's do... What do we have here? We've got this. Oh god, there's gonna be so much to do. So this is now metal plate O2, metal plate O2 base color. All right, and then we're gonna have I suppose I should actually call it what it is. So then we can just stick that in there. Metal plate O2. Right, okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to code gen all this. Okay, fine. So let's simplify this now. I'm just going to do it for this metal plate polymers. I don't know how many were there. Was there 11? As in only for the base color. I don't care about the glass and stuff. I'm not going to render them. So it's just 9. Do I just super quickly just bash out the 9 and then see if we can render something without any normal mapping or anything? So what I think I now want is okay, let's so I've got 2 choices now, as always. Model data. These could become strings to textures that you must then load, or we pass in, when we load model, the resource manager, and then we pull them out and stick them in there. Yeah, I'll take the last, right? That's fine. I can handle all that. That's fine. Probably just pass into file system path and then just use file name. But the question is, does model data become strings? Or do I think you're right. I think I just pass in the resource manager and I load them directly. That's what I was leaning to. Okay, fine. So let's do... So resources, resource loader, and then we can do. Oh, hang on, put that in the wrong place, but that's fine. Resource loader, resource loader. Resource loader, resource loader. Okay, fine. So let's do file system. Let's do the let's call that path str. Let's do const auto path equals stirred file system path dot cstra, and then const auto file name equals path dot file name. And then yeah, vector is the container you probably want to go for. It's a dynamic array. Okay, so it just allows you to put stuff in. It's the equivalent of a Python list. Yeah, think like a C# or a list or array list. I can't remember which one which are the ones you want. And Java array list, I think. I would say like jumping straight into refactoring is quite a hard task to do because it kind of involves you having quite a deep understanding of the domain as well as the code. I'd say if you're new to C++, I would definitely get more confident with C++ first. I'm not saying you can't have an impact on the project through refactoring, but refactoring is always more complex than you think. We're trying to build a game. At the moment, I'm not having a great time about it. Okay, fine. So this should be now. Of course, don't have Rangers support yet. Why is there file name dot file name? I'm sure. I think because file name is now just a path, so I think I can just do strong on that. Okay, fine. And then we can do albedo equals, let's do load texture, right? Because that's just in the utils file. We already have access to that. Resource loader dot load data buffer. Format textures slash file name dot string, obviously. Why is it not liking that? What does load texture give me? Oh, it should give me the texture data. Oh, I think that's right. Because the texture comes from the texture manager. So this is actually wrong. And we are making all the refactoring today. I'm using STB. Yeah. I'm not. One of the concessions I make from doing everything from scratch is not passing rando file formats. I just think it's just a lot of work for very little gain. Well, I think because file name just produces another path, right? I think the type of file name is stood file system path, which still has all the members on it. Okay, fine. So now that will like that. Okay, fine. So let's go back out to main. We're getting there. We are getting there. So I can go away. That's a waste of time. Where do I load model? Resource loader. Okay. So I need to. Oh, I did it as a. For const auto model in models. If model has ClangD crashed. Texture manager dot add. Oh, am I gonna have to create material from this as well? Oh. Painful. What does material manager expect in add? So I just have to add arbitrary textures. Okay. Think, as much as it pains me, I may have to remove my ronge here. Because there's quite a lot of logic that now needs to happen. I think I can do const auto index model in std views. In models std views enumerate. Okay. Because what I now need to do is I need to do const auto text index equals so ensure model dot model dot albedo, missing albedo, const auto model albedo equals texture manager dot add star model dot albedo, I think. I think that's right. I'm going to quit this and start because I feel like ClangD is gone. Okay. Const auto model mat equals material manager dot add, and from here I want albedo, and then I want text index plus 1 u text index plus. I'm just going to reuse the normal map and the specular map from the shiny metal one because I don't really care about those. I just want to see the diffuse for now. But I can't bother to, all the shaders are set up for that pipeline of having both of those. Okay, so now I can do theme.entities pushback. Oh, someone subscribed to Prime. Thank you very much. Just yank these, I think. Okay. Model mat. I think that's enough. So I put out the albedo texture, stick it in the texture manager, construct a new material from that, and then create the entity. So now the only thing left to do is to go over to the embedded loader and then add the rest of these miserable materials. Let's feel like this is a macro. What did we have? We have base color 2. So let's take these up to here. Hang on. Okay, so let's take everything up to there. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. Right, okay, let's see if I can construct a grand old macro. I think most of these become that. I think what I'm probably going to do is script code gen this just off stream. I don't think it's particularly interesting. I'll just knock up a quick Python script to pass all through all the models, put it all out, and just like, well, I've got all these in a file, right? So it's pretty easy for me to do. I will probably do it later. Yes, the model data will, everything should be embedded inside here. Okay, so hash embed. I might not even need much of a, so QA, go to the end, do that, Q. Oh, hang on. Okay, put those there. Oh. Right. Cool. Am I missing the clang? Oh no, fine. Okay, fine. That is good. That is good. So now I just need to give them all unique names. So metal plate 03 base color. Oh, steady. metal plate. To be honest. That did not work. Right, let's see if I can do this as a macro. So f nope, QA, sorry. I could have done it by now, but I'm determined to do this as a macro now. So yank E up, go to the beginning, F space, 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 P, left one D, Q. Okay. Got it. Why is it not like about this one? It's interesting it can't find that. Pretty sure I do have that. Metal plate 03 base color. Cursor and cursor path is not correct. Ah, yes, well done. Oh, God, missed it off all of them, isn't it? There you go. Right, fine. A secret assets textures dot jjj dot jjj dot jjj dot jjj dot. Okay. Yeah, you have to remember, right? Like, there's obviously like infinitely more ways and better ways of doing this, but like I'm only writing the code as I need it as I go along to solve the problems I have now. So this is kind of for now the best way of doing it. It doesn't mean we won't refactor it in the future, but for now, like I just want to go to bed. I want to get this done. Exactly, yeah. Okay, fine. So let's now take, which ones are these? So we got so what we got? 58. So yank 58G. Right, gonna shoot for another miserable macro. Which one's got the actual? I think I want this one. Press all the keys on my keyboard but the one I want. Oh, wait a minute. What? Right. That was painful, sorry. There we go. Okay, and now okay, right. So QA, go to the beginning. I want E bang 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 yank E A P A B B Q, and this should be Right, hopefully this will just fill them all in. Whew. I think it won't like this one because I think this is called metal plate. I started typing this one out manually. Okay. Is that all I need? Is that enough to make it run? Resource loader has not been declared in graphics utils 57. Pretty sure it has. Pretty sure it hasn't. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. You gonna tell me what the error is, or are you just gonna point at it and to say this? UFS source main. I do mean that. Correct. Correct, Mondo. I think Clang D has given up. It's fine. I can keep on top of it all. Okay. Okay. Oh, of course. Of course. Auto's got nothing to do with optimization, right? It just uses the template deduction rules to deduce what is on what you're assigning to it. Dereference it. It's a unique pointer. What do you want now? What do you want now? Is this not... Oh, have I got to... Wait. Wait. I have to construct the texture myself. I remember we discussed this before about adding this as something to the manager, but it's fine. So that'll be albedo index and then const auto albedo equals UFPS texture star model dot albedo and then the sampler. And then this becomes add albedo. And this. You sure? Gotta give it a name. Gotta give it a name. God. Of course. Then have I got to move that in? Move that in, and then this becomes albedo index. The bang. I will explain the bang bang in a second if I remember. I really just want to see if this works. No. So my my error checking function ensure takes a Boolean predicate. Oh, actually no, that should implicitly cast. Sorry. Basically, it will try and match a Boolean, but this is an optional. I'm not sure why it doesn't implicitly match, but anyway, basically this by putting the bang before it, that explicitly invokes the overloaded bool operator, but it will invert it. So I then invert the result. So it's just a cheap way of getting something with a overloaded bool operator to match to a bool type. It's a bit of a C++ annoyance more than anything. I could just overload it for optional. You're right there, Queco. You're missing some keys somewhere. Line 221. So look, I have it already overloaded for my own internal management type and unique pointer. I just need to have an overload for optional. Just not done it yet. I think that should deduce the type. What's the actual error we're getting? Metal plate 2 base color ping does not exist. Embed resource loader. So pretty sure it does. Like, I'm pretty sure it does exist there under that name. Why is it? What's the call site? So it's from load utils 187. Load texture slash file name. Is there some fuzzy wuzziness around the is there like some weird white space or something that I'm missing? Oh, is it the wrong slash? I bet you're right. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Good. Well remembered. We're getting there. Resource textures pipes 01 base color. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's not wrong. It's definitely not there. Where's... Fine. You know what I'm actually going to do? I think we're close enough. If const auto a, this is not great code, but albedo a auto albedo index equals text index Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to assume it's the default texture if it's not there, because I just want to see this rendering. I think for pipes it's probably okay. Come on, come on, come on. Show me something. Show me something. Show me something. That's an unfortunate load time. What's going on? I suppose it is in debug mode. What's the... That's fine. Oh, is it in the... I bet it's from the... It doesn't matter there, does it? It's from the actual resource loader. From... Where is it? I can't see it. Where's utils 187? It's if it can't find it here. How many are we missing? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the last one. Let's just add it quickly. And up. Oh, why is it? Oh my! Did I literally just forget to add it to the thing? Okay, that might just work. Tell her. Textures must be embedded. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh. Oh, I don't know. That looks pretty good. I don't know why these default textures... Oh, because that's the normal map, isn't it? Yeah, it's got really funny... Everything's normal mapped with that metal texture, but like, look at that. Look at that. That's pretty sweet, I think. Well, it's not right because everything is using the default metal normal texture, so everything looks really weird. But we can... That's pretty cool. That there as a community post screenshot right there. Right. Process, before we get carried away, process must be observed. We must commit our changes. So the first of many update submodule commits. So change model data to store texture data. Add new resources. Load pass model texture data. Integrate changes. Wow, what a stream! What one for the books. That what was my last stream? 15. 16. All right, stick that in the git hole, and we'll do a PR. No one's... I've re-enabled them and no one's picked them yet. It's obviously too late. You can claim it now, but I'm not doing it for today's stream. That ship has sailed. So you can black hole your Twitch tokens if you want. Okay, let's. Why is that not pushed up? Oh, because I'm looking at the wrong repo. What a fool. Right. Create pull request. Interesting to see if the CI does work. It should do. Okay. I'm just going to let that build. That'll take a while because it's now got to pull in Assimp and the CI system is slow. What's next? So the next thing to do is there's a couple of things to do now, which I think is interesting. One, and I will try and do it off stream, is to just smash all those resources into hash embeds. Like let's really pack it into that XC. Like really ram all the get a bit aggressive. Really ram all those resources into that XC. So we're gonna pack out that, have them all there, and then need to go through and pass out all the other textures, right? So normals, albedos, all that. Yeah, absolutely whacked that mic there when I was gesticulating wildly. So yeah, we're gonna ram all the resources into that, and then have it so it actually kind of looks okay. And then what we need to do is have some sort of automated. We need to kind of script up having all those models available, and then we need to extend the debug UI, right? So we want to be able to click and drag all those level components and start moving them around. I know the Imguismo allows you to move things on like steps, so you can make sure they're always aligned. But yeah, that's the next thing I think, is to sort of build out a very basic level editor with what we've got. Then we need to go back and add it so you can have better lights. Then we need to go and kind of tart it all up a bit, add a skybox, add a gun, and then run around. But I think we're like that there. I think today's effort is like the first step in actually kind of getting a level we can go around. I think today was a massive amount of work, and now the future streams should just be building on that, just to make the tooling a little bit better. So yeah, I think we're in a good place. I'm glad I streamed for a bit longer, and I'm glad we got that done. Yeah, exactly. We're entering into our second era. I think someone mentioned Twitch raid. I'd be up for that if we can find someone who is C++ing. I've lost my window. Is it there? It's here. Right, Twitch. Raid channel. Let's see if anyone is doing the C++s. Hang on, search and same category. Otherwise, it's unlikely someone's going to do C++ in the in a game, but you never know. It is not looking good. Sort by views, high to low. Oh, bollocks to it all. I hate the Twitch UI. Okay. I don't think there's anyone today. There's certainly no one who's just left their chair on stream while they go have an argument with their parents. I know. Not a lot of people stream C++. Like, I'm got a bit of a niche. Yes, YouTube raid. Go and find someone else to watch. Okay, I am exhausted, but thank you very much for coming along. What fascinating stream. What great stream. I think we did. How would I describe my work experience and expertise? Average. Thanks for coming along. I think it was a really good stream. I think we got a lot of done. And next, there's not that many more streams before I disappear for a couple of weeks, but we're going to try and get more model loading and slightly better like editing tools. We got to do something around like all the submodels so you can click them and group them together. That's going to be fun. I think there's probably a simple solution there first, some sort of grouped entity, and I suspect we're going to have to do AABBs at some point and all that kind of jazz. So, yeah, right. Hang on, I'm in my tiny little box. You can't even see the play button. Well, the point is I have nothing to drink in the house, so it makes no difference whether I would concede or not. Right, I'm off. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you all anon.